What's up, everybody? It's Jackson. This is GNS Academy, and video is part of an educational series, an A to Z, beginning to end, on how I trade and how we trade in GNS. This video is going to be about candlesticks, things like dojis, engulfings, what they mean, and understanding that really it's a language. It's not just candlesticks. We're actually trying to understand and learn the language of Japanese candlesticks. Okay. Um, a little bit about myself. I have been a day trader for about 4 years now, and I've been profitable and consistent for the last year and a half. I've been funded with Apex. Currently, am funded with Top Step, and I'm currently funded with Alpha Futures. I have about 5 funded accounts. Have received multiple payouts, and that's about me. What I'm most proud of, though, is I'm able to teach one of my close friends in about the span of 4 months. As soon as I started teaching him, he was able to receive his first funded account and his first payout. And 6 months later, now he has 5 funded accounts. So, uh, what we want to do is try to replicate that with you guys. Give yourself a pat on the back. Welcome to this educational series, and let's go ahead and get into it. So, quick little key terms that we have here. These are terms that you might have or have not heard, but we're going to have things like bullish and bearish. These are terms that we hear and that we use every day. When you're on Instagram and YouTube, TikTok, you're going to hear these terms, okay? We're going to have bullish and bearish. Bullish is when something goes up, okay? Um, and bearish is when something goes down. Think of it this way. In Spain, they have the run of the bulls, and when you get smacked by a bull, you're gonna go flying up, right? Okay, so we use those terms bullish. Also, in the New York Stock Exchange, on Wall Street, there's gonna be a bull there. It symbolizes, that we want the stocks and the companies to go up in value. So think of bullish, maybe the horns as well, they go up. However you want to remember, bullish is another word for up. Um, or like a green candle. Okay, when you see a green candle, is bullish. When something is bearish, it means something's going down. Okay, think of a bear attacking you and you're on the ground, and it starts mauling you while you're on the ground, going down at you. Okay, um, and when I say it, when it means it is going up, it is going down, it means a candlestick or maybe a trend, right? When we talked about in the last class, uptrend and downtrend, when you have a lot of candles going up the mountain in a sense, it's a bullish trend. When you have candles going down, it's a bearish trend. If you see one candlestick and it's green going up, it's a bullish candle. When you have one candlestick going down and it's red, it's a bearish candle. Okay, bullish, bearish, we're going to use these terms for the rest of our trading career. Buys and sells, similar to bullish and bearish, except we're not going to say that's a buying candle, that's a selling candle. But buys and sells should be pretty self-explanatory in terms of the mentality. Buys will mean going up, sells mean going down, except this is when we're executing a trade. When I'm in a trade and I'm going for buys, that means that I want the trade or the candles to go up. Buys. Um, I'm not going to say I'm in bullish. I'm saying I'm in buys. And when I say I'm in sells, that means that I'm entering a trade or executing a trade. I'm inside a trade and I'm predicting, betting that is going to go down in sells. Okay, I'm executing sells. I'm not going to say I could say I'm bearish mentally, but I'm executing in sells. Bearish means that I think that that price is going down, and then I'm executing sells. Next, we have open and close. So every candle that you see, whether it's a bullish candle or a bearish candle, is going to start off as nothing, and then it grows to something. Okay, when a candle starts, it is considered its printing, and it's called the open of the candle. So it just starts. Okay, and now it's starting to print, it's starting to load, it's starting to create. Okay, it's printing. When the candle is finished, it is printed, and now it is closed. So when it's open, it's printing. When it's printed, when it's closed, it is printed. Okay, these are terms that we're going to use all day, every day. Okay. Um, Next, we already talked about this on the last slide, or the last, sorry, PowerPoint, would be uptrend and downtrend. Multiple candles moving up over time is an uptrend. Multiple candles moving down is a downtrend. Use the terms right there and plug it in with all the ones, the first ones over here. A bullish trend would be an uptrend. A bearish trend would be a downtrend. We need to know these words. Like I said, we're not just gonna jump into learning how to trade and we don't know basic vocabulary, okay? Bullish, buys, open, uptrend, all those words right here. We're going to be using them a lot, but I just want to give you a pre-frame before we keep on going throughout these presentations and you don't know what these words mean. Okay, so now we're talking about the doji. So the first candle that we're going to learn about today is a doji. A doji, what do they look like? Right here onto the right, okay? A doji looks like a gravestone, a long-legged and a dragonfly. That's what you have to the right. Don't worry about the names. Nobody calls them by their names. If someone's calling them by their names, they're being a really try hard. We all know that a doji is a doji, and they all mean essentially the same thing. Okay, not one doji looks the same. Just know that they mean something, right? Let's say someone draws the letter T, but someone draws it in cursive. Then someone draws the T with the line across a little higher. Someone draws the T with the cross a little lower. Someone puts a little curl in their T. Someone puts a little hook on their T. We know it's a letter T. Okay. Same thing with dojis. Dojis are printed differently. Sometimes the cross looks like a little lower. Sometimes it's right in the middle. Sometimes it's higher. But they all mean the same thing. Okay. What does it mean? When a doji is printed on the chart, it is telling us that the market is at a standstill. It is indecisive and price doesn't know where to go. Buyers and sellers, the bulls and the bears, both have control at this moment. So the candle forms a doji until the direction is confirmed and someone has control. Let me break it down a little bit. A doji means indecision. Write it down, sear it into your brain. Indecision. We don't know if price is going to go higher or lower. We don't know if the next candle is going to be a bullish candle or a bearish candle. It might be another doji. Essentially, we don't know what candle is going to be printed next. But when you see a doji being printed, right, which means it's finished and closed and is being printed, when you see a doji, that could tell you something, that there's indecision. Okay, what does indecision mean? Price, nobody has control and it doesn't know whether to go up or down. Why is that important? It's almost like a brights flashing at you, letting you know something's gonna happen. It's like a hazard lights, a warning sign, the yellow light, however you want to kind of compare it to. It is dojis are telling you pay attention because something might happen and a decision is going to be made, but right now there is indecision and we don't know what's going to happen. You want to pay attention to that before we enter our trades, before we're making an analysis. And part of that analysis is, okay, there's dojis here telling us pay attention, pay attention. It's not telling us that price is going to go up or down. It's telling us to pay attention. This is why we love dojis, because dojis telling us that there's indecision in the market. We don't know if it's going to go up or down. Pay attention. Pay attention to the next candle. Pay attention to the next two candles. Pay attention. Focus. It's like, make your eyes like deer in a headlight. Doji, pay attention. Doji means indecision. It is telling us that there is no decision being made. I don't know how else to keep on hammering it to you. At the end of this, I'll make sure to ask you again, what is a doji? What is this? And you're going to have to talk to yourself and answer it, okay? What does that mean during the day, though, when we see a doji? Let's say that one candle represents this doji over here on top of me, represents the daily candle. That means those 24 hours of, price going up and down. When a doji is formed, that means that all the candles inside of that 24-hour or all the candles inside of that one day just went up and down. What do we call that in the last class? Consolidation. There hasn't a decision has not been made. It's sideways trend consolidation, just going like this. Nothing's happening. Okay. We're gonna wait until something happens for a trend to form, for a decision to be made. That is what it means. Um, so that is a doji. Okay. Okay. Now we have an engulfing. I can't fit here. So what we have in engulfing is the opposite of a doji. Okay. If a doji means indecision, pay attention, and engulfing means a decision has been made. And now we could act on it. A doji, we don't want to really react yet. We want to pay attention, see what's going on. Okay. We should be locked in right now. We see a doji. Okay. What's going to happen next? What decision is going to be made? Boom. And engulfing. Okay. Doji and engulfing. Doji and engulfing. That makes up the whole market. Okay. Dojis and engulfings. They're different sizes, different shapes, but when you look at the market, it's dojis and engulfings. Why? Because during the whole time in the market is indecision, and then decision was made, and then a day there's no decision made, and then the next day decision was made to sell, and then the next day no decision, and then the next 3 days were decisions to buy. Boom, boom, boom. The price of Apple goes up, S&P 500 goes up, and then it hangs out for a day or two, and the price doesn't move. Indecision, dojis, and then price moves again. Boom, explodes up. A decision was made. We could tell because of these candles that are telling us. These are more than candles. This is a language. Okay. So what do they look like? Big green candle or small green candle. Completely different from a doji. Doji, thin, little, cross, line in the middle. They come in various shapes and sizes. Okay. Engulfing, opposite. And they both mean the opposite. One of them means indecision, one means a decision has been made. Okay. Um, the direction or the color of the engulfing candle can tell us what decision was made. An engulfing means a decision was made, but what decision was made for buys or sells? Pay attention to the candle. Was it a bullish engulfing? Bullish means up. Or was it a bearish engulfing? A bearish means down. We don't want to use the term. We could use the terms it was a up engulfing, a down engulfing, a green engulfing, a red engulfing. Let's be professionals. Bullish is up or green. Bearish means down or red. Look at the pictures right here. Bullish engulfing, bearish engulfing. Bullish engulfing, bearish engulfing. A bullish engulfing would be a green candle, a big candle, and a bearish would be a red candle, a big candle. They tell you different things. A bullish engulfing means that it's a big candle, green candle. A decision was made to go up because it's a green candle, bullish, up. Bearish, a red candle, big red candle. Decision was made to go down. Decision. Engulfing means a decision. What decision? Was it a bullish decision or a bearish decision? The market can only go up, down, or horizontal. Up, down, consolidation. Uptrend, downtrend, consolidation. What makes uptrends? Bullish engulfings. Because it's an uptrend, is a bunch of decisions being made to go up over time. What makes a downtrend? Over time. Bearish engulfings over time. Okay. And what makes consolidation in the middle? Dojis. Okay. So now we're putting kind of words together to make a picture. Before we can make a big picture of uptrend and downtrend with a bunch of candles, what does one candle mean? One doji, indecision. A bunch of dojis, indecision. One engulfing, bullish engulfing means it's going up. Multiple bullish engulfings mean that it's an uptrend, right? One bearish candle going down means that we're going down, or a decision has been made to go down, but multiple bearish engulfings means we're in a downtrend. Okay. So what happened that day? Let's say one candle represents a day. When we have that one day and it's the end of the day and the candle closes and is printed, then now we're gonna have that means that during the day there is multiple candles going in uptrend, and at the end of the day it made one bullish engulfing. Okay. To sum it up really quick, doji, indecision, write it down, sear it into your brain. It's what we use every day to make money, but know the meaning of it, not just what it looks like, with the meaning. Engulfing, a decision was made. What decision was made? Bullish or bearish? Bullish decision or a bearish decision? An up decision, down decision. A decision to go higher, a decision to go lower. Doji means indecision. Engulfing means decision. Okay. Now, put them together. If we're trying to turn this into English, okay, this is like learning a new language. This is more than just patterns. It's more than this person told me that when the candle goes into this box, then I go for buys. Or when the candle goes into this box, I go for sells. Trading is more than that. It's actually reading like a book, deciphering the code, and understanding the language, turning it into English. Okay? When we see dojis everywhere, we see engulfings everywhere. Okay? But now we know what they mean. Let's put it together. Okay? It's like 1 plus 1. Okay, doji plus engulfing. 1 plus 1 equals 2. Doji plus engulfing equals what? If I told you that the whole time I've been telling you a doji means indecision and an engulfing means decision, then what does doji plus engulfing mean? Indecision, decision. Okay, indecision was happening and a decision was made. 1 plus 1 equals 2. Indecision plus decision was made equals a decision was made to go up or down. Okay, let's try to break it down here. When we see a bearish engulfing, bearish means go down, right? A red candle, in this case black, then that means that a decision was made to go down. But let's say we have a doji in front of it, a doji plus an engulfing. Doji plus a bearish engulfing. In English, price was undecided, then made a decision to sell. That's the 1 plus 1 equals 2. We have a small candle and then a big candle. Let's turn it into trading words. A doji plus a bearish engulfing. Now let's turn it into English. Okay. Price was undecided with the smaller candle, indecision, doji, and a bearish engulfing was created. That means that a decision was made to sell. Not just a decision was made, but the candle will tell you what to sell. This is literally learning another language, right? Same thing here. So, sorry, you probably can't see. Price was undecided, they made a decision to sell. Same thing over here. We have a small candle, a doji, and then we have a big candle, which would be an engulfing. Okay, we know the names of them. We know what they look like. Turn it into trading words, trading terms. Doji plus a bullish engulfing. If we're turning it into English for our brains to decode it, price was undecided with a doji, and then a decision was made, engulfing, to buy, bullish engulfing. Okay, one more time. Doji, bearish engulfing, undecided, decision to sell. A doji, bullish engulfing, undecided, decision to buy. Okay, we're trying to put them together. It's more than just one candle by itself and one candle by itself. Put them together. One by itself is the number one. One by itself is the number one. But when you do 1 plus 1, it equals something. Same thing here. A doji by itself means indecision. A bearish engulfing by itself means a decision to sell. Put them together. Indecision, and then a decision was made to sell. Okay. Now, that's really the two candles that we're going to look at. Those are the two candles that make up the market. Okay. Uh, Next class is going to be candles, these candles happening in different places, because you're going to see there are dojis, engulfings, and dojis engulfings happening everywhere. Where are they important? When they're just in the middle of nowhere, just going up and then dojis engulfings? Or what happens when it hits a zone? What happens when it hits a fair value gap? Pay attention to a doji and engulfing at a fair value gap, okay? Dojis and engulfings could help us understand things in the moment, but now we will determine what they mean at a place. In the moment, dojis and engulfings. But when they happen at somewhere, at a fair value gap, then it could even give us more information. Adding these three things together, a doji, engulfing, and a fair value gap, can help us understand the language of Japanese candlesticks even more. For instance, this is what a fair value gap looks like. It's a zone that we draw out for a specific reason. What happens? We have a regular kind of engulfing candle, and then boom, a huge engulfing candle right after, going over this one, towering over this one. Big engulfing candle. A decision was made to buy. It doesn't always have to be a doji and engulfing, doji and engulfing. When you see an engulfing, that's what it's telling you. When you see a doji, that's what it's telling you in the moment. What do we have here? We have a candle that comes into the zone, and then another candle opens, closes, prints, and it tells us it's going up. A decision was made to go up. Boom. At a zone. That's even better. What do we have here? We have a fair value gap, which we'll talk about in the next class. We have a doji looking kind of candle. It's not always going to be a cross. It's just kind of like a small candle, which means indecision. Hold up. What's going on? Pay attention. Pay attention. Bam. Engulfing. What kind of engulfing? A bearish engulfing. A decision to made to go down. Based off of coming from the zone, we could add them together and try to make a better picture and try to turn it into a sentence instead of just a decision was made, it was indecision and a decision was made to go down to sell, right, like in the bottom picture. Now we could say price went into a fair value gap, had indecision, and then made a decision to sell. That's going to be even better, stronger, and more conviction for us to take a trade. Okay, so we're going to finish it like the last one. I'm glad that you guys are here. This is the second video of a long journey. After this video, there's going to be 2 other videos if you're in the Discord that you could watch that are pretty much in correlation with what dojis and engulfings are or candlesticks are. They're going to help you kind of solidify it instead of just listening to me. You have 2 other types of points of views and 2 other teachings. Okay, they're not too long, and they're good videos. I watched them myself. Don't try to rush the process. Enjoy the process. This is a really awesome, skill to have, something that no one could take away from you. And it could, potentially change you and your family's lives and generations. You could teach your kids this and all this stuff. So, um, give yourself a pat on the back that you watched all the way through. And, yeah, let's go ahead and keep it going. And the next video is going to be about fair value gaps. So it's going to be a good one.